Hey, good morning. It's a new week and we're at it today. We're drifting some cows down into that place where we fixed fence last week. It's all ready for them. It's got really good water and pretty good feed. So we're going to drift a few cows down there to use that country for the next week or so. And then we're going to be making another big move and moving them up onto Cedar Mesa. So anyway, that's what we're doing. I'm going to turn this camera around. I'll kind of show you. All right, so we got quite a good group of cows. We only want to put maybe 35 or 40 down in there, so we don't want to put too many and overuse it. So anyway, we're just kind of going to be drifting them down there. And there's an old dry pond way up there, you can see. And there's quite a few cows right there already gathered in that pond. So we'll take this bunch, and then we are going right on this side of that big red butte there, on the right side of it. There's a trail that goes off down into that country, and that's where we're headed today. Uh-oh, Rhonda, she's doing the stare down with this cow right here. There she goes. Nice day. Our cold snap finally broke, and today we're supposed to get up to 40 degrees, so we're relieved. Everything's froze solid. That's another reason why we're moving these cows, is because all of our water tanks and everything else up here just froze, and that's going to be a while before they thaw out. So we're going to move these cows down on this better water. Hey, and I'm riding Mac today. So, the horse with no name has a name. Thank you. Good name. Lots of good names. So, anyway, I think this kind of fits him. But kind of nice to have a name to put with the horse now. He's doing good. He's coming right along. He's getting a little better every day we ride him. And he's going to make a really nice horse. Rhonda's giving this cow the side eye. She's looking at me saying, "Give me the word. I'll bite her, bite her hind end." But anyway, that Rhonda, she's funny. All right, we got a good bunch gathered. And we're taking them over here to where this trail starts. And push them off in this country. So if you haven't met Rhonda, this is her right here. She is Border Collie Kelpie Cross. And she is 20 months old and just kind of learning. But she just has so much drive and loves to work. It's just a lot of fun to watch her work. So she just does great. Very quiet and a pretty confident dog. So where we're going is right down in there, underneath that red cliff you can see, closest one. That's where we're headed. All right, we're close enough. I'm gonna ride back to the truck and come around and pick these guys up. I got Wayne helping me today. He's right there on that Palomino horse. And Gary Rock, he's helping us today. He's riding one of our horses, Duke. But oh man, is that pretty or what? Rhonda, she's not sure if she wants to go with me. She wants to keep working the cows. Yeah, I was riding back to the truck and found this kind of weird wood box here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a little closer to it. But it's just a wood box and it goes quite a ways into the ground. I have no idea what that was all about or what it was for, but kind of an interesting thing out here in the middle of nowhere. Huh. Okay, I'm finding all kinds of cool things out here on my way back to the truck. I looked over and saw that laying there in the top of the bushes. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, good deer shed right there. If you haven't ever heard of Mexican Hat, Utah, this is it. A little tiny community, but I wanted to show you the actual Hat Rock itself. Hey, good morning. I'm kind of freaking out. What's this white stuff? I haven't seen snow all winter, but we got snow today. It's weird that the forecast didn't even call for this. And anyway, I sure am grateful for it, though, I'll tell you that. But I'm down here drifting cows, and we've got some cows that have come back up, right up in that high country again by the highway. So I'm going to get them in this corral I'm in, and we're going to haul them back down. And then we're going to push a bunch of cows down even lower. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. You can see it's snowing a little bit, and we got, I don't know, a couple of inches. Pretty nice. First snow of the year. I can't believe it. We're into January, and this is our first snow of the year. I think we've got 5 got up here. We're gonna go put them in this little corral and haul them down. Well, we got those cows in the corral, and now I am down the country a little ways, and I can tell you what we're doing today. So last week, we moved a big bunch of cows down to the lowest part of the winter range here on Cedar Mesa. And then we were short quite a few cows, and so over the last week or so, we have just been gathering cows and finding all the stragglers that we were missing, and we've got most of them. We're still missing about 5 cows, but we've got most of them. And so we put them through a fence, and today we're going to take them the rest of the way down and put them with those other cows. So that's what we're doing. I've got Mark with me and Wayne, and I dropped them off a little ways down the country, and they're picking up some cows, and we're going to kind of meet in the middle with our cows, and we're going to push them on down. So that's what we're doing. And boy, it's a nice day. It doesn't look like it. I know it looks cold and stormy and stuff, but it's actually warmer than it has been. And it's just kind of nice. It's so good to see the snow on the ground and have a little bit of moisture. Man, we needed that so bad. So anyway, we're going to have a good day for sure. So a couple of things happen when it storms. One, the cows really scatter. They just spread out. And they move a lot more when we got storm than they do when we don't have storm. The other thing is, and I think part of the reason why they move is the grass, the feed, everything becomes more palatable to them because it's got some moisture in it. And so they get to where they just range. I guess that's probably the best word for it. They're out hunting feed and eating stuff that they haven't eaten yet this winter because it's got a little more moisture in it. So this storm's really good for these cows too, really good for the country. Well, I've met up with Wayne and Mark, and we got all of our cows together. We're still picking up a few, but we got most of them together. And got a pretty good group. This is about all the stragglers we gathered up over the last week and a half. So we're gonna get them out here on the road, and we are gonna head to that lower country. Well, that's our last little bunch we're gonna put in today. They are headed down in. So, good day. Give you an idea of how big this pasture is. Pasture we call Slickhorn. It is big. So basically, as far as you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit, but that's all part of this pasture, as far as you can see. It's just a really big pasture. It's just a great place for these cows to spend the next month or so calving out, and it's a little lower elevation, so be a little bit warmer for them. There's quite a few springs and different things down in there that they use, but that's where they're going. Hey, guess what else? I get to talk about rock water. Enough of a storm that put a little bit of puddles in these rocks. And believe it or not, these cows drink this, and they can survive a long time on just a little bit of water like this. Anyway, it's what we call rock water. Hey, change of scenery. And I'm out in the saddle shop again tonight, and wanted to show you where I'm at on the saddle and give you the progress update and tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. So I've been working on parts and things again, and that takes quite a bit of time. But the things that we've got on the saddle now are our rigging plates. And that's what these are called. Right here is a rigging plate. You can see, and this is just a style that I do on my trees. So there are different ways of doing this. There's an in-skirt rigging that some people like to do. And I mean, there's just probably a number of different ways you can do it, but this is what I like to do is this. The reason I like it is because, as I mentioned when we started this, these are working saddles, and they've got to be built super strong. And so I want to hook these rigging plates into my tree and into the rest of the saddle that I'm going to build. And so this plate it's made out of double thickness leather. That, you know, it's that 12, 14 ounce leather, and I double that. And then I rivet in these rigging rings right here on both of those. And I've just started, it's not fully hooked and connected yet, but I've just started to hook this into the tree right there. You can see these nails. And these nails that I put in are special nails that are a rib nail, and so they do not pull out. And well, you can pull them out, but you'll rip everything apart on there. But I put that rigging right up underneath this swell, and when I cover the swell, I'm going to bring the swell leather over and hook that leather into this as well. And the same thing back here. This rigging plate will get hooked into my skirts and stuff and connected back here. And basically, in order to rip this rigging out, you will have to pull the saddle completely apart. So this particular rigging is called a 7/8, and I'll explain that to you. 7/8 means where this lines up on your saddle. And so the position that this is at is called 7/8 because it's right behind your swell. If it was a full, it would be even with the swell. It'd be over in here. And if it was a 3/4, it would be back into here a little bit. So I hope that that makes sense. So anyway, this is a 7/8. That's the style that we like because it pulls a little bit better when you're roping and those kind of things. It's just a little bit better on your horse, a little easier on your horse. If I have a full and I'm clear up in here and I'm putting a lot of pressure on my horn and pulling this up, I don't know, it's just, to me, it feels like it could hurt the horse a little bit. So we do this 7/8 position on our rigging plates. The other thing that I've got done is the handhold. And this is how we do a handhold. And I make mine just about big enough that I can put my hand in there and hold on to things. And then, I don't know how well you can see that or not, but right here is my seat. And so if I take my hand and I feel that right there, I can feel how thick, you can feel how thick that seat is. And just how much there is to it. So that's how you cover that as it comes through. Now my seat's gonna fit on here, you know, and it's gonna hide all of this stuff right here as well. So you won't see any of this stuff, but you will see this little piece right here. When we cover the swells are gonna come in through here too, and they're gonna cover all of this. And so this will all just look like part of the saddle. Anyway, that's where we're at. So next step is the horn, and I'm working on that tonight. So next week I'll show you that. And if you've noticed, I'm kind of cheating just a little bit. Not cheating, but you can see I started to cover it already and it didn't fit right and I didn't like it. And I pulled it apart and took it off, and we're going to start over again. So that's what that is right there. But anyway, next week it'll look better. Okay, that's it for the update.
All right, we want to show you guys the new ranch mascot. It was kind of unexpected, but Hyde, my boy, went to the sale barn with his grandpa, and they came back with something, and we think it's going to be a pretty cool mascot. But we'll throw some video in of Hyde bidding on it and buying it and stuff. But we'll turn the camera around and show you what it is.
Down daughter here, where? You been down daughter? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Down 1100, like it. Down 1100 here, head. Yeah. Down 12. Again. Down 13. Down 13. I know where it's at. 13, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21.
Okay, here she is. Oh, this is an 18-month-old Texas Longhorn heifer. She's supposed to be bred. We don't know if she is or not. But kind of the funny thing about her is Hyde loves like bulls and pictures of bulls and cows, and he loves things with big horns. And so him and his other grandpa, Justin, went to the sale last week, and she came through, and of course they couldn't resist. So anyway, that's the new ranch mascot right there.
Yeah, I don't know if my dad said, but so she's only 18 months old, and we're hoping she's gonna have a baby. The sale barn said she was in with some bulls, and the bulls that she was in with they're registered Longhorn bulls. So we hope she's pregnant, but we'll find out.
Okay, to be continued. One of these days you're going to see her out on the range, on the desert, and on the mountain. Okay, one more kind of update. So to keep her company, because she was a little lonely, Trayson's father-in-law brought in an old crippled cow that could no longer range out, and he brought her in to keep this one company, and going to probably sell her at the end of the year. But last night, look what happened. She had twins. And that thing around her neck is a GPS collar. Trayson's father-in-law has GPS collars on his cattle. He's one of the first ones in the area to do that. And it's kind of a new thing around here that the Forest Service wants to test out and stuff. And so anyway, that's what that box is around her neck. But these little calves aren't more than probably maybe 4 or 5 hours old. Pretty cool, huh? Can't even hardly get up yet. They're just, that little black one, he's still a little bit wet even. I guess it's that time of year. Oh, got to move some water troughs today. We're getting ready to bring cows up off the lower part of the winter range to a little bit higher part that has a lot better feed. So we're moving troughs and they were full of ice. Thankfully, Trayson was here to help me, but oh my word, it's a big job. All right, we're gonna move them to where the cows are gonna get put in a few days. Okay, so this is the head of a really deep canyon and there's a spring right down in there. Got Hyde with us today. There's a spring right here and you can't see it very good, but I'll zoom in. You can see right there, there's like drips coming out of that and it feels a little pool that's right in there. And that's one place that the cows can water, but it's pretty froze up. And that's why we're bringing those troughs in here so that we can make sure the cows have a drink when they get here. Wanted to show you one other plant that these cows eat. It's this green plant right here. It's a brush type plant, but we call it Brigham tea. And it's just this part right here. And it's a pretty stout feed for the cows. It's full of protein and got quite a bit of energy in it. They eat it best when there's some snow on the ground. It's kind of a, I don't know, pretty fibrous, woody plant, and they do better if they've got some moisture in it, but they like it and they eat a lot of it. And growing right next to it, some of that four-wing saltbrush that we talked about. But this kind of feed right here, this saltbrush and this Brigham tea is just really, really good feed for these cows in the winter, and they do really well on it. Sitting here on this cliff edge waiting for these guys to get back. You can see a big ice pool in there, another place where that spring collects. But Hyde, it's a long ways in here, about 8 miles on a dirt road, and he has lots of wiggles. And he wanted to get out and go look for some rocks and see some things, and so we're letting him kind of hike around for a minute. He'll come back with all kinds of treasures. I bet he's got his hands clear full of something. All right, I can see you got stuff in your hands, Hyde.
This is a flint.
Oh, you found all those?
Cool rocks, huh?
Wow, that is cool. Those are pretty colors. Pretty good. What? What is that?
It's a deer horn.
Good grief, you found a deer horn. That's kind of cool. Hold it up where they can see it. Cool. Good find, buddy.